dark and it is shoot day and we about to have a picnic. We've got our plan here that we made the other day in Dropbox paper with our prep tasks and our shot list, and now we just gonna go down the list. So our first task is to set our aperture to a low f number, so we'll do that really quick. And we're adjusting our aperture to the lowest possible f number, which depends on your lens. The pricier the lens, the lower you can set that f number and the blurrier you can make your background. But if you're using a camera where you're not able to adjust the aperture, or if you're just more comfortable in auto mode, it's all good. Our next task is to pick a picnic spot with a faraway background, and we're gonna put our blanket down here so that we can shoot in this direction and this direction where the backgrounds are far away from us. And our last prep task is to remember that that sunset is at 6:30. We want our last shots of the selfie, and especially that walking away shot, to be in the last hour before sunset, also known as golden hour because the light is so golden and magical and pretty. And so I'll set an alarm for 5:30, which is an hour before sunset, so I know when to start wrapping things up. All right, that's it for prep tasks. Now let's jump into shooting. So our first picnic shot is of us taking the blanket and laying it down over the camera, so let's set that up. First, I want to put this camera down on the ground, but since the grass is a little wet, I'm going to protect it with this clipboard and pop that lens cap off. There we go. I might just scoot this over just a little bit to see if I can make those trees fill up the frame a little bit more. And that looks great. Now all that's left to do is to film the action.
But before we do that, I just want to let you know that I am going to be jumping in, giving a few tips on composition and some other things, starting with filling up the frame. A lot of beginning filmmakers do not let their subject fill up enough of the frame. So if these flowers are the subject of this shot, but they only fill up this much of the frame, while this distracting playground takes up a good chunk of it, then that is an issue. But if we zoom in, then they're going to fill up much more of the frame and demand more of our viewers' attention. Now this isn't always true, of course, because sometimes a lot of negative space around your subject can be hella powerful, as long as there's nothing distracting in the rest of your shot. Anyway, back to the shot of us laying that picnic blanket over the camera.
Now let's take a look and see if we like this. You always want to review your shots when you're in the field. You don't want to be reviewing them for the first time when you're at your editing computer when you don't have a chance to redo something if you need to. So let's see if we like this. Okay, so it looks pretty cool. It doesn't go all the way black when we put the blanket down, so I want to do it again and see if we can make sure that we pull that blanket over the lens. It also is kind of funky. I wouldn't mind doing another shot of us putting down the blanket that's a little more straightforward, where you see what we're doing instead of this funky angle, just in case, you know, it's not quite clear to the viewer what they're looking at, and then I'll have that option when I'm editing if I want to use it. We could fold it for this shot.
Just for the shot.
They're not going to be able to tell in this camera. Okay, so let's try that. Ready? Okay. All right, let's see if we like that one. Oh, it goes black. It goes darker, and you can't tell that the blanket was folded, so we're good to go on that shot. And let's get to our next shot where we are unloading our picnic. No, that's wrong. And now we're going to get that straight on, more normal shot of us doing the same thing, laying the blanket down. I need to figure out what I want my background to be, what I want my camera angle to be. And so we're laying the blanket down right here, and I could film from this direction, or I could film from this direction. But this direction sucks. We've got all our crap in the background, road signs, plus this bush is a much closer background than the background on the other side. It's way pretty over here, so I know I want to shoot this way. And now I want to figure out what I want my camera angle to be. So I'm just going to move around, and I really like the light that's coming from the sun right there. If you face your camera toward the sun, then you can start getting some really pretty flares. So I know that I want to angle my camera up, but I also want to be able to see the grass since we're laying the blanket down on the grass. So I'm thinking something like that looks really pretty. Now, how am I going to get my camera angled up like that? I need to wedge something underneath, so there we go. And I'm trying to get the horizon straight on the bottom. You don't really want a horizon that looks like that. it is off kilter, it throws people off, unless that's something that you're going for, like something's wrong in your story. But in this case, happy picnic, let's get that horizon straight. All right, I really like the way that looks. I think the park looks magical with that light, and now we just gotta film the action. All right, you ready?
I think so.
Can you see it? Are we centered?
Oh, let's see, get closer for a sec.
I promise I am not just trying to get us in the center because I'm OCD. Using symmetry in your shots can bring a sense of balance and polish to them. And so if your subject is close to the center, then go ahead and square them up because it's gonna look so much better.
It's about centered.
Are our heads in it?
I think they are in it.
It's often a good idea not to chop someone's head off when you're framing a shot. Obviously, if you're showing a close-up of hands or feet, you don't have to show someone's head. But if you're gonna show their entire body, then your shot's gonna look much better like this than like this, where it kinda looks like her head's been chopped off. And you don't wanna do that to the people in your video. But anyway, let's go back to our shoot where we are doing that straightforward shot of us laying the picnic blanket down on the ground.
Let's walk forward and put it down then. Okay. I think this looks pretty good. I kind of bend my knees all the way and squat, and Miles bends over at the waist. And so it'd be cool if we were bending down in the same way. And then I almost want a little bit more of the grass line in the shot. So I'm gonna do it one more time. It takes just a second to do it in the field, and then I'll have that extra option when I'm editing. All right, ready? So let's take a look at that and see if we like that shot any better. Cute. Okay, so that's a wrap on putting down the picnic blanket, and now we're gonna go on to unloading the picnic basket.